Oh, somebody wants, are we on?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, somebody wants the link for the group. So let me,
Okay.
he's asking for it. So.
Okay. Thank you once again for joining us for another episode of African Women Empowerment. Today, we are privileged to have with us Grace Oggudah, the founder of Reignite Kenya, and Grace will be equipping us with on finding your personal mission in life. Grace is joining us from London, United Kingdom, and I am Catherine Jenga. I'm also in London, United Kingdom. Thank you, our audience. Welcome. Let us know where you're joining us from. Thank you, Grace, for accepting our invitation, and welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for having me. It's such an honor to be here, and I'm excited at what this amazing platform is doing in terms of inspiring and uplifting. God bless you for the amazing work as well you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm humble and I appreciate it. So, Grace, tell us more about yourself for those who do not know you, and flow as you will, Grace.
Okay, I'm Grace Oggudah, and
Yes.
I'll slightly just share about myself. I am a wife. I am a mom of three wonderful children. We have massive gaps. So our
Yes.
first daughter is 21. Then we have a 14-year-old, and then I have my little boy who is 4. Who showed up 4 years ago, although I bought his clothes 18 years ago.
Oh, we bless God for that.
So we've got 3 wonderful children. I am a speaker, a trainer.
Right.
I'm the CEO of Reignite Kenya, and Reignite Kenya runs various initiatives in the community. We are based, that's based in Kenya, so that's where our home is. I'm also the CEO of Marketplace Africa, and that's an online directory for Black-owned businesses.
Yes.
I'm the founder of Donate a Wig. That's a charity that gives free wigs and makeovers for women going through cancer treatment in Africa. Okay. And generally, I am a lover of life. I love fashion. I love fitness. I love food. And I am a life balance coach as well, which is, something that's my passion of helping women achieve life, family, and work balance. And that's just reclaiming their time for a healthier and happier life.
Thank you, Grace. Today you'll be speaking to us about finding our personal missions in life or mission in life.
Yeah.
So, I just want to welcome you. You're speaking, you're telling, you're educating us. It's an interactive conversation, so send us your questions, send Grace some questions as she equips us. Thank you, Grace. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Yes, finding your personal mission in life. I think I just felt like sharing about that because, as we are living in this season in life, we are finding that many people are feeling a bit lost, and that might be coming from challenging situations in terms of our childhood. Especially from my culture, it was a situation where your path was given to you. This is what you needed to do, and this is the career path you needed to go into. And the amazing thing with children is that they dream and there's no limitation. They just dream about the things they want to do. And that comes from somewhere really special. But the more you hear that your dreams are not valid, so, for the more academic ones, it kind of works for them because we are very academically driven sometimes as a culture. So for the academics, it might work. For the more artistic, it might be a bit of a challenge. And that voice can continue to be silenced. And we adapt these other voices in our lives, and we get into adulthood and we are struggling. We are struggling because we are operating in an area that's not for us. And I always say that life is easier when you're operating in your field of favor. So if you're in your field of favor, a place where, your giftings are working for you, then what happens is you're inspired in that space. That space is an opportunity for you to find new ideas. But personally, I will say that my father was, really hung up on me going into the sciences. And I remember him just checking my report form, and he would check my maths, he would check my science, and he would say, okay, that's brilliant. Anything else, he's not really concerned. If you're not performing well in maths, if you've got 100% in your arts, but you're like on 60% or 40% on maths, we have a problem.
Yeah.
And that was something that I think he really instilled in me. And I remember just him taking me through the maths drill. We would have 2 hours of maths every single day. So I became quite brilliant in maths. Not necessarily, I don't know whether it's a gift because I'm still brilliant in maths, or whether it was the training and the grueling kind of over and over repetition that got me to be so amazing in maths. But unfortunately, I ended up losing him when I was very young. And I noticed that as I grew up, that voice was still there. I pursued engineering, which I hated with every bit of me. But then I was doing well on paper, but I was not inspired. I was not excited about the job. All I did was enough. I never went beyond enough. I was just doing what is required, and that was it. And, that kind of took me around in circles, actually into my 30s, when I was completely lost. I was not really, it was always trying small things. It's almost like dipping into my passion, but my passion was a part-time thing. It was just a part-time thing that I did. But then the main job, you need to stick to what works, which is follow the engineering path. And that was a very difficult thing for me to do. And to now come to a point where I reconnected with myself. And I started thinking, Grace, what is your mission? What is your personal mission? When you came into this earth, what did you come to fulfill?
Yeah.
And the thing is, you cannot fulfill what you've come to this earth to do when you're operating out of alignment.
Yeah.
So for example, this is your role. Imagine you've been given a job and you've been told, Grace, you're going to be the creative director of XYZ. But then when I come to the office, I'm always in the other department, and they're wondering, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Yeah. But I'm always in the wrong department. And that's how it is with a lot of people in life. They're in the wrong department and they're finding that they're out of place. They're making decisions, but you're making decisions out of place. So things are not working out. You're struggling through life. It's becoming a battle. It's becoming heavy. And there's a difference between working hard and hard work. Work in itself, when you're working on your career, when you're working on your dreams, it's hard. It's a lot of work, but it's working hard. But then you're making progress. But if you're doing hard work, there's no progress. You're beating against something, but you can feel that you're stagnant. You can feel that you're not actually making any headway. And that's when you now have to start questioning what is going on, and some of us start to believe like I'm cursed or this is bad luck, nothing works out for me. But sometimes it's just taking a step back and thinking, rather than me thinking, the world is against me. What about, let me pay attention. Am I in my field of favor? Am I in the place where the ground is soft, where when I plant, the seed is going to germinate and it's going to produce a plant? Is it the right environment? And we have to look at yourself as a plant. If you carry yourself and put yourself in the desert, it's going to be difficult for you to kind of, depending which plant you are. If you're a cactus, you're going to work out in the desert. But then you need to find out, what type of plant am I? If you're a rose, there's a certain type of soil you need. If you're a cactus, you need less water, so you're designed to thrive in the desert. So just knowing, okay, what is my shape? What is my make? And then you're able to focus and then create an environment for yourself that actually aligns with what you are created to do.
Okay. So Grace, you've told us about you cannot fulfill your life purpose when you're operating out of alignment.
Yes.
So how do we know that how do we know what's our field of favor? How do you, okay, for example, you said dad wanted you to do sciences, which, like you said, is something that's back in our culture. You get sort of told what you're gonna do. Well, I can testify to that, and personally, blessings to my mom and dad, and I appreciate. Yeah. And they always made me my dad wanted me to do PR and marketing because dad did marketing. Mom wanted me to do to be a PA because she worked as a secretary, and I did both, and they're good. They've been good in my life. They've sort of also pushed me along. But my place, I would say, my field of favor is working with people, working with women, encouraging women. That's where I feel more comfortable. So how do we know? How do you know what's my field of favor? If there's a young person out there saying, okay, Grace Oggudah has said we need to work, it would be good if we worked in our field of favor. How do we find what's our field of favor?
Number one, as we're talking about the personal mission and what that is, and really finding it, there's a finding, and we need to look at ourselves like a kind of puzzle. There is a finding, and what I can say to parents especially is allow your children to try, so allow your children to try, and don't restrict them. Today I want to bake cakes. I don't want the cakes anymore, I want to try and do this. Do that. Like, just allow them to try. And sometimes as parents, we don't create that environment for children to try. It's a finding. And as stewards, parents, that is part of the job. You're supposed to observe your child, remove your bias, remove your expectation, remove them completely, and just look at your child objectively and watch them. From the time a child is 3 years old, 4 years old, you should be able to start picking. 5 years old, the things they're doing naturally, the things that they're not really struggling with. And the personal mission is just defining who you are as a person, and it identifies your purpose, whether that's in the office or in simple life. It's just how to explain how you aim to pursue that purpose and why it matters so much. So I would say, let's think about 3 things on how you are going to find your personal mission in life. Number one, you need to think of your skills and your abilities. There's things that come naturally to you. They come naturally to you. And the thing is, we have to be careful that we do not despise those giftings, because sometimes they've been despised as a child. You might think listening is a skill. Not everybody can listen. Listening is a skill. Being able to listen to somebody and extract the greatness out of somebody is also a gift. There is little things. There's a lady who I know, and she lives in Finland, and everything in her house is white. Her kitchen is white, the floor is white, the sofas are white, but she's an African woman, so she cooks with palm oil and everything, but there's no trace of palm oil in the house. And the thing is, she finds cleaning, apparently from the time she was a child, everything has to be prim and proper. Everything has to be in place. Cleaning for her is therapeutic. Cleaning for me is a headache. If I could avoid it completely with everything in me, I would. I don't enjoy it, but for her, it's very therapeutic. So when she's stressed, the thing she goes to is cleaning, and that provides healing for her. And the thing is, when you're able to find your skills and abilities, that is what brings healing for you. Your job should provide a place of healing, so it doesn't feel like a job anymore. Then the amazing thing with this young lady is she doesn't clean. She goes and works in a supermarket, and she finds it very stressful, and she doesn't enjoy it. So I looked at her and I said, why don't you start a cleaning service? And she said, oh, but who'd pay, like for her, it was like, who'd pay it? Like, would it make sense? I said, but you do this and you love it. But for her, that gift has never been acknowledged. And because it was never acknowledged as a child, she also hasn't acknowledged. It was kind of like, oh, you always, you're extra, you're over the top, you need to relax a bit, you need to do this. So she started seeing her cleaning as a problem. She started seeing it as, okay, I may be over the top with this cleaning and this and that, but she loves a clean environment. But because the people who are living with her are not that tidy, they now imposed on her, and they kind of projected on her that you're extra. This thing is a problem. You're not normal. So she started to see her gift as a problem. And that's the problem sometimes. We start battling with our gifts. We see it as a problem because it was picked up and it was seen as a problem. But your skills and your abilities, number one, the things that come to you when you're sleeping. When you're sleeping, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to clean this person's house. Oh, and actually God speaks to you through it. So there might be a stain that cannot be removed, but in your sleep, it comes up, oh, if you use vinegar and this, it's going to work out. Then you try it and it actually works because you're operating in your field of favor. Number two, you really need to know what your personality traits are and how you operate. A lot of us don't know our personality traits. Are you a choleric? Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? And for some of us, you find that we love the buzz of just being with people. Some of us are energized when you're in a group of people. My husband is more of an introvert, so he prefers to wind down with a quiet movie and just sit and relax. Me, I need a party to buzz, I need some loud music and something happening. And that's how I unwind. But for him, he finds that very stressful. So if we don't understand that, okay, this is how things work, then you kind of project your own opinion. You'll be like, why are you so loud? Why are you this? Why are you that? But everybody has a personality trait that works for them. Some people are more vocal, some people are more quiet, some people are more introverted, some people get their energy from connecting with other people. So once you understand what that is, then you find that it makes it much, much more easier, and I would always advise people to take a personality test.
Okay.
Take a personality test. And that is very important. And why should you take a personality test? Because number one, you will get an objective view of yourself.
Okay.
You might think you already know who you are, but your opinion about yourself is largely biased, It's largely biased. And then, but when you take a personality test, you can now look at it and have an objective view. It can help you discover your passions and fears outside your intellectual ability, which is very important. It will shed light on your values, your interests, and skills. It can also provide a more holistic view of what you're like. It's very important that you get, and then a personality test can also do something that's amazing, which it can help you discover your strengths and your weaknesses. You need to know what your weaknesses are. It can be difficult to accept that, okay, I actually have shortcomings. But if you know what they are, you can deal with it, It's very, very important. And it's educating yourself about yourself. You're educating yourself about your negative qualities. And then how can you work on improving them? So having a self-awareness, which can be helpful in how you navigate your life. The personality test can do another thing. It can help you choose a career and a business path that brings satisfaction. So I would really recommend that, if possible, take a personality test, be a student of yourself, have a good relationship with yourself, understand what's going on in there, so that, if one part of you is playing up, you can say, Grace, sit down, let's have a discussion. And let's see how we can help you to get better. And then number three, which is the final one, is your values, dreams, and passions. Sometimes we need to go back to childhood, the foundational years, which are between, I think, the years of 4 and 12. Those are the place where your dreams are nurtured or they're crushed. And sometimes, as you're saying, the parents, it's not like they have bad intention. It's not
not at all.
They're not coming with, or even me as a parent, I've had to be very aware, because before my daughter went to international relation and politics. She wanted to be a dentist. And I was like, yes, this is great stuff. And I was checking the salaries of dentists, and I'm like, we're going to have a doctor in the family. And then she reached a point, and the reason why she was passionate about it is she had braces when she was around 12, and she had such a beautiful connection with that lady who was sorting out her braces with that dentist. And because of that, she said, I want to be a dentist. But then after a few years, she said, actually, Mom, I don't want to be a dentist. And I felt that sinking thing. I was like, what's going on? And then she said to me after her A-levels, I actually need a year off, another sinking feeling. And I had to be like, a year off doing what? And she was like, I just need to think things through. I feel like, and in my natural state, and that's what I'm saying, like most parents, is not a bad intention. My natural state would be like, you need to go to university, go and do the dentistry and stop messing about. But I had to step back and breathe and say, Grace, step back. And then we had a conversation with my husband, and we were like, okay, let's give this girl a moment. And for that year, it wasn't like she was changing the world. She was just lounging, and I was like, what are you doing? Right? So there was places when my mouth wanted to say stuff, but I was like, then one day she woke up, she said, I found it. It's international relations and politics. And when I look back at her life, my daughter automatically, every day, she knows what's going on in the political world. I have no clue what's going on. She normally tells me, vote for these people because this and this. I have no interest in politics at all, but she loves it. And that's how she winds down. So sometimes she'll be in the living room, she'll just sit and she'll be watching politics, and and she finds it, so interesting. And she has a passion for Africa and communities. So for her, she said when she's done her degree, she'd love to move to Kenya and go and work there in the communities and get involved in some of the political things they're doing there. And that's her interest. So now when I look back as she was growing, it's been there, but I had to also give her space to find it. It's very difficult. So those are the three things I would say. Pay attention to your skills and your abilities, your personality traits, take a personality test, and then also your values, dreams, and passions. Make sure that you take time to establish what those are.
Can I just add on that bit where you talked about your daughter? I know your daughter is doing international relations, and you said, like parents, we need to start watching these things from when children are young and allow them to do what they want to do. Give them the space, give them the freedom. One of my children, my son as well, is studying international relations and politics. I've told you this before. And what I can say is, he started this as well when he was a very young child. He would watch World War movies and all that stuff at the age of 10, and Churchill and all those. And I remember he'd watch it with his dad. Politics is not my thing as well. And at some point I asked, I asked, like, oh, why does this child watch these things for? Why? At the age of 10. But then in my mind, it came, this is where he gets his knowledge, And also at some point, he's also there. I have two boys and they are very sporty. And oh my God, first he started with football, then he went to basketball. At some point he went to American football as well. And in my head, I'm going like, where are we going? But we've allowed them to try all this, but eventually the first one settled on American football. He does it part-time. On another note as well, he wanted to play American football on a professional level. And we did all those things that you need to do, like send him around to the camps and everything. Then one day he came and said, Mom, this is not what I want to do. I almost lost it. Became a prayer point, But could tell he said, this is not what I want to do. I'm going to do it as a part-time thing, as a gift. No, not as a gift, as a hobby.
Yes.
And politics this is why I feel called. So my point is, moms and dads, let's give freedom to our children,
Yes.
Let's allow them to try and also to believe in their dreams, because if I had said to him, politics, politicians, But we also have to remember is that God wants his people in every place as well, in the 7 mountains, And you told us about the personality test, your personality, for us to know what our personality trait is, and to do a test. So if someone wants to do a test, where would you recommend? Do you have any recommendations, or do you have any ideas where they can get this from?
Okay, there's a free one they do online, which I think is quite amazing. And you can find it in www.16personalities.com. So 16, the number, personalities.com. It's amazing. It will just blow you away. You will look at it and you think, does this person know me? Somebody watching me? But it's amazing. So www.16 the number personalities.com. So you can use that website and it's absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, right. Okay. Grace, you're giving us really good insights. Today, our audience, thank you for joining us. Today we have Grace Oggudah with us. She's teaching us, equipping us with on finding our personal mission in life. She's told us to find out what our skills and abilities. Don't see your gift as a problem, but as a blessing, because each one of us has a gift that God has put us, or gifts that God has put in us. Know your personality trait and take a test to know what personality traits you possess, and your values, dreams, and passions. Find out what are your values, what are your dreams, what are your passions. Chris, do you want to tell us more? Do you want to tell us some more?
Yeah, as you're saying, it's just very important. And I think wherever you find yourself in life, when I think I kind of shared that I am a life balance coach, and I really challenge us, especially as women, to look at the areas of life in which we are involved in. As women, we always have 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, 6 that we are doing at the same time. And if you do not know what your personal mission is, if you don't know what your gifts are, it becomes very difficult to actually have a good relationship with yourself, because we are all very different. With the age of social media, we have to be so careful, because sometimes we start to compare, the pressure is on. Maybe you're looking at some of your classmates and you're like, hey, as you're like, hey, what happened here? This person is climbing Mount Elgon. Me, I'm here at the bottom of the mountain. What's going on? And we can get under pressure with all these things. So the mission, once we put that in place, whether you're a stay-at-home parent, whether you're a college student, whether you're a business executive, whatever it is something that serves you. It's something that will serve you and will be able to keep you focused on how to meet your long-term goals. But I wanted to quickly touch on the areas of life in terms of just injecting our mission. As I was saying, we are all very different, and we need to appreciate that we are different. That thing, we say it a lot, I am enough, but a lot of people haven't processed that I am enough. You are the resource. You're not looking for things to sort you out. You are the gold. We just need to polish it. And my husband says something. He always says that, chicken stew is chicken stew. But that if Grace cooks chicken stew is different from Catherine's chicken stew. It's all chicken stew. Because although somebody will always be more beautiful, somebody will always be more faster, somebody will always be better, but there's nobody who has a unique blend of you in the planet. Nobody has a unique blend of you. If I put paprika and black pepper and I mix it, the way you will put paprika and black pepper is not the same blend. It's a completely blend. So when you embrace your blend, then you're able to inject it into the things you're doing. So for example, Catherine might be doing coaching and I'm doing coaching, but we are injecting our personalities into the coaches, and there's enough room for everybody to flourish.
I love that.
There is enough room for everybody to flourish, as long as you're injecting your own personality into your own thing. So this mission helps us to be focused and stay online to fulfill and to reach our long-term goals, which is very, very important. But I wanted us to, as we're talking of mission, to think about the different areas of life. And when I normally do the life balance workshop, I ask women to think about the 7 areas of life. Number 1 is spirituality.
Okay.
And being in tune with your beliefs and your core values and who you are. You have to have a spiritual life. You have to be anchored somewhere, you know, with the person who created you. Let's have a conversation. Like, yes, you created me. What's going on here? What do you want me to do? You know, my daughter makes me laugh the way she says to me, sometimes she talks to God. She's like, sir, I'm doing everything I need to do. What's going on? Can you shed some light on this problem? So sometimes,
but honest as well.
Yeah. So sometimes you just have to be like, okay, it's a bit messed up. Like we need some light here. So if you feel like you're a bit lost, God doesn't want to blindside you. God is not kind of hiding this thing. It's just that you need to seek it and you need to check and you need to pay attention. And it's not difficult. People think it's difficult, but Catherine, if I say to you, you look at your son, you will be able to tell me his strengths and his weaknesses. But sometimes we don't take time to spend time with ourselves and meditate and reflect and check. Grace, what did you do today? What are the challenges? It's just a conversation with yourself. So it's nothing that is hidden from you. So spiritual life is number 1, very important. And that establishes how you create a mission for your life. Number 2, family. How satisfied are you with the quality of relationship within your family? You also have to have a mission for your family. As a woman, what is your mission for your family? If you're not intentional, life will just happen to you. So things you have to pay attention, like this is my mission for my family. This is the outcome I want for my family. This is the outcome I want for my children. Then you have to inject those values. Like these are the values, these are the things that will sustain you through life. And that is legacy. So being very intentional. If you don't have direction, you will find that people will not have direction. I always tell women, you set the tone for your family.
That's true.
You set the tone. Because the power of a woman cannot be underestimated. If you're operating in your gift and if you're operating in the power God has given you, you have the power to shape the destiny of your family. So it's very important. Number 3, finance. How comfortable are you with your current financial situation? I believe every woman needs a side hustle. You need multiple streams of income, at least 2. When rubber hits road, you should be able to go and have a savings somewhere and pull it out. And I always say this, I've seen women sell vegetables on Facebook and they're doing that. You know, it doesn't need to be complex. It doesn't need to be, and that's where our gifting comes, because sometimes somebody's seeing somebody's system, oh, it's so complicated, how do you do it? No, it can be as easy for you as I sell vegetables. Guys, I deliver vegetables. Give me your address and I deliver. It's straightforward. It doesn't need to be complex. So your finances are important. And then you inject your mission. How do your customers experience you? In your workplace, how do your employees experience you? When you walk in, oh, if there's a problem, Catherine is the solution lady. How are they experiencing you? Because you have core values that are leading you to make those decisions. Career and business, very important as well, as I was saying. In your business is a person. Your business is a person. You can look at, oh, it's a person. Your business speaks to you and tells you, this is what I need. That's what I need. And it's talking to you because your business is an extension of your heart. You know, although they'll say this is a clothing business, many people won't buy clothes because they like, before you get to a point where you're big, they will buy the clothes because they know the person. With the person. And clothing companies that do good branding, people are so connected that they just walk into the store You know, I need a white t-shirt, I'll go to Zara. Why are you going to Zara? There is something about Zara. There's a way they have branded themselves that I have connected with them. Health is very important. This body is what will make sure that you fulfill your dreams, you fulfill your goals. We have to be careful on how is your overall diet. How is your quality of sleep? That is something that I have struggled with because my mind works at 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know, I have an idea today, I have an idea tomorrow, I have an idea. Sometimes, you know, when we are doing an event, sometimes I wake my husband up in the middle of the night. I have an idea. He's like, my friend, please, not now.
Wake up. Or you wake up in the morning before you even say hello. You know, I was thinking.
Yes. Or, you know, like today I had things going and I just shot out of bed.
Yeah.
So as I'm running out of the bedroom, he says, good morning. I was like, oh, good morning. You know, so you have to be careful and really make sure that you preserve yourself. You know, how is your sleep? If I didn't put boundaries in place with my personality and my energy, I could easily operate on 3 hours sleep a night, but that is dangerous. So we need to just make sure. Sometimes I have to force myself to go to bed. I remind myself of my small son, you know, my little boy. Every time we say to him it's bedtime, I don't want to go to bed. And that's the way I am. When it's bedtime, I feel like I'm going to miss out on something. But you have to go to sleep and you have to make sure you have your water and look after yourself, you know, so that you are able to carry on in a way. You know, sometimes health challenges hits us and it's out of our hands. But as long as it's within your hands, do the best you can. Social, and this is a very important one. Do you have social outlets? You have to create an environment where you can speak in a space where is safe. I see a lot of things happening on Facebook where people don't have social outlets and they come on Facebook and they say the most intimate things that they should not share in a place that is so open. And it's because they don't have a social outlet. And we see this especially also with, you know, unfortunately, the stars, the people who are rising to the top, where they don't trust anybody. And although so many people are surrounding them, they're isolated. So by the time they're coming on Facebook, they're having a breakdown on Facebook. They're having a breakdown on Instagram. And you have to make sure you create a social outlet. Have a friend and invest in that friend. Sometimes we are saying, oh, you know what, I just don't seem to be able to make friends. But maybe it's you. Maybe you're not investing in a friendship. So you have to find a friend that you can invest and they invest back and have a conversation. You're my sister and this is what you are to me and this is who I am to you. We are here to support each other. Let's touch base once a week. Let's be conscious that when we meet, we're not talking about anybody, but we are talking into each other's lives. We are encouraging each other. Let us also preserve each other. When I tell you something, don't go and share it outside. And the fact that I'm having a bad day does not mean I'm having a bad life. So because I came and shared something, it doesn't brand like, you know, because we can have a situation where your child is playing up and your child is having a bad day and you share it with somebody and in their mind you have a bad child. No, it was a season and I needed to work through it. Let's work through it and let's pray together. Do you have friends that you easily connect with? And finally, number 7, which is community. Very important as you're building your mission. Do you give back to your community?
Right.
And that does not need to be something massive. It can be as simple as giving a meal a month to a homeless person.
Okay.
But being consistent with it. What are you able? And guess what? As you do that, it has a healing effect for you. You might think that, oh, I'm giving this person, but giving has a healing effect on your whole well-being.
Okay.
Scientifically, when you give to a purpose, and it needs to be an intentional giving without expecting anything in return. I am going once a month and I am going to feed somebody who needs it. and have a conversation with the person, hear them out. It will increase your objective. You know, there's a time I got involved in a charity that they used to go out once a week and once a month and give out hot meals to the homeless people. And I hadn't really understood that some of these people were working for multi-million corporate companies, but one thing went wrong. You know, you can think somebody is homeless because they want to be homeless. But sometimes you go in and you're finding out somebody owned a 7-bedroom house in Oggudah, but something went wrong and their minds just lost it. And since then, they've been on the streets. It opens your perception. Your compassion is enlarged because we are living in a world that has no compassion. Your compassion is enlarged, your gratitude level goes up, and that has a healing effect for you. So those are some of the things I can say in building your mission. Think about these 7 areas of life and inject that into the things you do.
Well, Grace, you're really giving us deep stuff right here to help us with how to find our personal mission. And when we are building it, that we need to find out about our spirituality to be anchored in Christ, or, you know, whatever spirituality we have. And then you've told us about our families, how satisfied are we, our finances, our businesses, our health, our social outlets, community. Thank you to our audience who've joined us. I had seen a question from our Faith Hope Charity. She asked, can you have more than one mission or passion? Can you have a passion for different things? That's what she was asking.
Yes, you can actually have a passion for different things. I'm one of those people that has passions for different things. But what you want to do is you need to build. Sometimes it's a bit dangerous to spread yourself too thin. So you can have a passion, and that's why it's important to put things on paper. So write them down on paper and then look at what you have in your hands. Number one, what do I have in my hands? What can work now? Don't think, because there's a passion you might have that might take you 4 years to build, and there's a passion you might have that might take you 10 years to build. But right now, there's something you can build today. And sometimes what you find is you look at somebody like Richard Branson. He started off with Virgin, and then it now starts to evolve. You start off with what you have in your hands, and then you will find that as you push and you pierce through, because you want to apply pressure at one point. So apply pressure at one point. Once you've applied pressure at one point, then you now start to diversify, but it's on paper. So make sure that you write them so that you're not, this mission will help you to stay focused. You're not drawn into different sides, because sometimes desperation, when times gets tough, we start to get desperate and we start to make the wrong move. So the mission will keep you focused. When times are tough, you will step back and say, okay, let me breathe a bit here. What should I do next? And you're able to take, sometimes there's pressure. You might need to take that pressure for 1 year. You might need to downgrade for 1 year. For example, you might need some extra cash injected into something. Okay, what do I do? Do I go and do a night shift for 3 times a week for 6 months to make sure this is happening? So you're able to be objective. What do I need? And it's your life. You need to make the decisions for yourself. You're not there to impress anybody. You know, if you need to do extra work, if you need to go to Sainsbury and just run those tills for a month so that what you're passionate about works. Because you have to realize that some of us, somebody like me, I need flexibility. So sometimes I need to inject cash in some places. I have to take sometimes extra work that will not compromise the big mission. There's some jobs, if you take, you won't be able to fulfill your mission. You'll be stuck because it will not allow you the flexibility. But you can take contract work. Okay, I can do 3 nights a week here. I can do 3 nights a week here for 6 months, and that will kind of help me. So it's very possible to have different passions, but strategize them. Strategize them and see how you get to the end.
Wow. I want to take you back, Grace, to what you say. There's room enough for us. You know, like how I like what you said about your husband saying that you can make chicken stew and I can make chicken stew and someone else can make chicken stew. That reminds me, yeah. But however, your chicken stew will taste different from
Yes.
mine, and my chicken stew will taste different from yours, you know, or someone else's. And I always see you see a lot of on the streets of Facebook or in life, oh, she copied me, they've copied me, they copied me. And you feel like there's a lot of competition. But like you said, you can make your chicken stew, but it will be different. Yes. I'm just wondering, is it because we are anointed to do things, but everyone has their own anointing, you know? You're impacting people, you're coaching people on your side, I'm coaching people on my side. And like you said, you inject what you're doing, you're injecting your coaching, whatever you have for you inject yourself into your group and myself into my group. How, and then you say there's room for all of us. Can you just talk a bit more about that? Because and then also one thing I find is that people don't support each other while we all need to support each other, you know, because the competition, the person that I feel you should be competing with is yourself. How am I improving myself? How am I impacting the people around me? Am I being a blessing to others? There is room for everyone. We are all anointed to do different things. No need to compete. No need to talk. I'm very passionate about that. So I'll let you elaborate some more.
And I think sometimes also, as this is a thing, especially with women, we are very special beings. Yeah. we are a very special bunch. But what happens sometimes is, I think when we look at the Asian shops, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're all selling vegetables. Like if you go to Brixton, how many shops are there, you know, that are actually selling vegetables? But we are challenged, especially, I will speak because I predominantly work with Black women. And there's something there that sometimes I think maybe it's a challenge. But then what I've learned to do is to approach it with compassion. Number one is there's nothing new under the sun. Whatever I am doing, I actually copied it from somebody else. You know, if I come today to Catherine and I'm like, whoa, okay, I love your background. That's amazing. I've never thought of a background. You know, let me have a background. And the only thing is, I think we have to.
Nothing wrong with that.
We have to be intentional though, because sometimes the nature within us is, that's the automatic thing. You know, I think, let me just share a story. My daughter started her business, and she was just saying that, you know, one of the friends was just like, oh, for a moment, the friend was moving a bit funny with her. And she was like, what's going on? But then the friend snapped out of it and said to her, you know what, I've been moving a bit funny, but what it is actually you're reminding me of what I should be doing. So, but having that heart to heart, and she was just like, even me, I need to up my game. So the thing is, the challenge should be, ooh, Catherine is upping her game. Let me up my game as well. But compliment. Put it in your book and write, let me acknowledge her for the amazing work she's doing. Catherine, you're doing amazing. This is great. It doesn't take anything to compliment somebody, but that's part of also just developing new habits. There's a scripture, I don't know if I'll be able to find it, that I wanted to share. And Philippians, and it talks about practice. Practice. Let me see if I can find it. But it talks about, there it is, thank you. Philippians 4:9. And it talks about whatever you have learned and received or heard from me or seen in me, put into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. We have to realize that some of these things we think are benefiting us are actually destroying us. Any feelings, if you look at your sister and you're having feelings of resentment, you're having feelings of, you have to acknowledge those feelings. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying that you need to look at yourself objectively.
Yeah.
If you're feeling, you see somebody and you're feeling jealous or you're feeling, acknowledge those feelings. Let's deal with it. Then override it, practice. So what do I do? Okay, I'm feeling somewhere. Compliment that person. Go against your nature, send them a message of appreciation.
Yeah.
You have to practice to have a pure heart. You have to practice. And when you do it, you're healing yourself. You might think you're doing it for Catherine, but it's you. Because as long as we are not able to focus on the things we're doing, when you're looking at somebody else and they're not able to acknowledge, you're not able to actually encourage them, your eyes are off your ball. So your stuff is not working. Your stuff is struggling. And I think there's a program we watched here on Netflix where there's this woman who had a hairline, and and you see there's one lady who actually started the hairline, but she was so insecure that she made it her life mission to actually attack. And you can see how the end ended. You know, the other lady ended up being remembered through history. But the founder who started has been forgotten because she took her eyes off the ball. So I have to say we have to practice. There's enough room for all of us at the top. There is over, I don't know how many billion people are here on the planet. Somebody has something for you and you have somebody for something. There are people who will be attracted to how I'm talking right now, and there are people who will be like, oh, Grace is too loud. There are people who will be attracted to Catherine right now and they'll be like, oh, okay. You know, so this within this conversation, even when we have a conference, within 20 women will go to different women. And we must understand that that woman she has identified with, there's a part of her that woman will heal. So if we take the eyes off ourselves and start to serve, wherever you get your solution from doesn't matter, because for me, it's a matter of, I want you to do well. So we have to, in our morning routines, I would say women, practice to actually think well about other women. Check your circle, send a message a week, say amazing. And it's not being, let me just do it. No, actually, you know, there's no point of me just saying, oh, Catherine, you're doing a good job for the sake of But look at something somebody's doing. If in your head you've thought, oh, there's something Catherine is doing and I really like it. Compliment her, say, Catherine, you're doing an amazing work. I just wanted to reach out to you and tell you well done. And as you encourage her, you will be encouraged. I think that's what I can say on that bit.
That's quite very good, actually. Very, very helpful. Very helpful. Let me just read a few comments. We have quite a few people watching. I have Nkatha Mugao. She says she's tuned in from Nakuru, Kenya. She's the CEO and founder of Frolics of Hope Africa. She's championing for children's rights and mental health. She has a program for teenage moms and young widows. Well done, Katha. I have Faith, and Faith has sent quite a few questions. You also have John, who's watching from Guildford. These are just a few of the people watching. I know Faith asked another question. She asked, she's heard that your mission can come from, if I can remember well, I can't see the question, that can sometimes come from pain.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you concur with that? Would you agree? Do you agree with that? Or what do you have to say about that, Grace?
Yeah, absolutely. Your mission can come from pain. So, for example, if it's very interesting. There was a lady who was just sharing with me. She has one child, but she had a lot of difficulties in conceiving. And this one child, what she has decided is to become a gynecologist because she wants to help women have children, and because she has seen what her mother has gone through, and also she was the only child and she would have loved to have siblings. So sometimes you're born into a situation. That's also we have to pay attention to our environment. Sometimes your pain gives you a passion and for life. So it's important that, and we also have to realize that there's different levels of passion. There is the passion that is God-given, and there is passion also that arises because of a situation and an environment. All those are valid. You just need to know how to manage them and to tie them together. And as I was saying, the passion given to you what will happen is like now, for her, there's a part you might realize that, okay, I'm passionate about children, but there is something in your childhood that has brought that. So you might be actually going for the children who have been sidelined. Another one will be going for the children who did not have an education. The other one might be going for children. So you see, it's the same thing, but we are injecting different things because of our experience. So it's very possible for a passion. Most of the passions or the community work we do, number 7 that I focused on, is born out of pain of some level.
Okay.
So there's a pain of some level that you have seen. You've gone somewhere and you've just been, this is not right. You know, something needs to change. And then you're able to actually impart into that space.
Grace, before we go on to the next bit of knowing more about your ventures, is there anything you wanted to, did you have anything that you wanted to add on to that?
I think it's been a great kind of session, but what I wanted to just encourage those who are watching is, I think you need to just be intentional with your life. You only have one life, and you are the one who makes decisions for that life. Have a good relationship with yourself. And I think one of the things is also be very attentive to your family because of the patterns that kind of come across, like they are across the line. And for me, I will share something that my father, unfortunately, before he passed, he really struggled with alcohol addiction.
Okay.
And I think I kind of was very unforgiving. He died, and I took me maybe 15 years after his death to really forgive him and just be like, understand his pain as a man and what the issues he was facing. I was able to understand him. But funny enough, although he went through that, my addiction was different, because sometimes we think that, okay, an addiction needs to look the same. My addiction was work. I had to be busy doing something. Like if I'm sitting down, I feel like something is going to happen. So I was constantly on the move, But that kind of takes the space. You know, sometimes when you are not comfortable to spend time with yourself, it's easy to engage in a level of addiction. So one of the things I would just say today is, if there's an area in your life that you feel like this thing is not shifting, there's a struggle here, I would encourage us to pay attention to our family line, the bloodline. Pay attention to the bloodline. A research was done on mice, and they one mouse gave birth to children, and then they took one child and they put it in another cage of a mouse where the environment was hostile. So this mouse was born in an environment that was peaceful, but they took the child and put it in a hostile environment. Within 1 month, the DNA of that mouse changed, and now it was struggling for survival. When they took the mouse again and put it back in the cage that was peaceful, the DNA changed again. So sometimes because of the backgrounds we have come from, you will find yourself automatically repeating things. And this is so dangerous because my pastor shared the other day, which was interesting. When the grandfather died, they found out that the great-grandfather got married at 30, had a son at 33. The grandfather got married at 30, had a son at 33. The father got married at 30, had a son at 33, and he got married at 30 and had a son at 33. So for 4 generations, that has been a pattern, and it's been subconscious. So there's some subconscious things working in our lives that we need to pay attention to. And I believe when we come back to the core of really paying attention to our lives, please pay attention to your life, because you have the key to change the generation, to change the story for your family. Just pay attention.
That's true. Thank you. Very insightful, Grace. Thank you. Oh, wow, that's very insightful. Okay, sorry, Grace. I keep taking you back. Faith has said something that I also I thought to myself. You say God-given passion and passion born out of life experiences. And she says that's an eye-opener. And for me, I would say it's an eye-opener as well. Although I sort of get it, but I'm still trying to distinguish the two. So maybe just one more elaboration, then we go to the next section, the
Okay.
next bit.
So a God-given passion is, for example, it's something you pick up from your child. The child hasn't experienced anything from as far as they remember. They have
Yeah.
not. There was no. Like sometimes you find that somebody has never experienced anything, but
Yeah.
they've just got that drive to kind of, work in a certain field.
Yeah.
Automatically, they
Yeah.
can do it. But then your own passion, you might not, a passion that's been kind of built out of pain, you might not have the skills for it. But because it's out of pain, that drives you to get the skills to execute it. But
Okay.
a God-given passion, it's inbuilt. You are able to navigate. He's given you the stuff to kind of just get on with it. But out of pain is kind of like, okay, now I need to build the skills to execute this thing.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It
Because
does.
sometimes it's in a field that you're not very familiar with.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense and good clarification. So now, Grace, you are a woman who wears many hats, and one of them is being a life balance coach. Can you tell us what the balanced life is all about? I know you say the 7 things, but what is the balanced life all about?
So the balanced life, we cannot, there's a quote that I like, we cannot attain perfect balance. That is something that's, it's something it's not going to be like completely balanced.
Yeah.
But what we can do is manage our time effectively. So what I do is we focus on the 7 areas of life. And this was backed out of being a student of my mother's life.
Okay.
Because my mother was a great, great, great woman. But then I noticed some balls fell. It's like when you're juggling stuff.
Yeah.
And I noticed some balls fell. And when it fell, it hit her so hard that everything else collapsed.
Okay.
And for some of us as women, we wear many hats. And it's very easy to get caught up into the kids. And you forget about yourself as a person. So you're still able to give to your kids and maintain your identity. Or sometimes some of us get into a marriage and we are caught up. And then you find that, God forbid, the husband dies and you're completely lost. You don't even know what you're going to do with yourself. There's some of us who completely have neglected our health, completely have, or you find women who say to you, oh, because of the children, I always wanted to start this thing, but because of the children, I couldn't do it. And the thing is, balance will let you think objectively. Because if you give birth to your child, Catherine, let's say example, I have a daughter who is 21. And I'm telling you in this point, because of my daughter, I haven't been able to do what I'm doing. What I'm communicating to my daughter is that she's an obstacle. So we have to be careful as well. And these things come out. Because of my children, I can't. Because of my husband, I can't. Because of this, I can't. But the thing is, you take at least 2 hours a day watching TV.
Yeah.
Why can't you sacrifice that and work on yourself?
That's
so
true.
balance is me just kind of sharing when I looked at my mother's life and I was like, okay, what can I learn? And that has been born out of pain, my passion for what I do with the women in terms of life balance. It has been born out of pain of being a child who just felt like I just never had a mother. She wasn't there for me. She didn't give me money and everything. And on top of that, I also lost her when I was very young. I was 12 when they both passed away. So I grew up as an orphan. I grew up very lost. But when my mother was there, I enjoyed those little moments. But then she wasn't there as well. But then I just saw what she has built collapse completely because of a lack of balance. And it was little things that she just did not pay attention to. So sometimes in life, when our career is going well, but the family life, there's issues, we soak ourselves in the career.
Yeah.
But you have to face the problem, face it and deal with it so it doesn't escalate. So the balanced life is just a challenge to women. Pay attention to these 7 areas. Pay attention to it. And we give it numbers. So I ask women to reflect objectively, be honest. Then the places which are not doing too well, we put a structure for you to build that. And as you build those areas, let's say in terms of health, I need to build my health. As you build your health, then you have more energy for your business.
Yeah.
As you build your business, then you have more flexibility for your community work.
Yeah.
As you build your community work, your well-being is better and you have more compassion towards even your children or your family.
Yeah.
So these things, every room in your life needs attention. You can't say, I'm leaving the garage to get spoiled. And because the garage is part of your house. So it's looking at our house, which is our bodies, and making sure that each segment is being looked after, spirit, soul, body. We are paying attention so that as we go through life, the things you have built, you don't wake up in 50, 60 years and think, what was all this for?
Yeah.
You have left a legacy that will outlive you, but you have to be intentional in making sure that you reflect and you fix those places that needs fixing before it gets too late.
Wow. Now I get what you were saying about building your purpose, your mission in life from pain. Wow, I felt so sad, Grace, when you talked about losing your mom. I mean, I know you talked about losing your dad and now losing your mom at a very young age. Oh, I felt that. I felt it very deep. Oh, I'm so sorry. But you've come a long way. Can I say that?
Yes, it's I'm very. It's very challenging for me in terms of knowing that even as today, as I speak to women, I let them know that it's a challenge for me because I've just not grown up with a mother. So it's kind of like for years I felt very displaced because although you end up sometimes in houses, they don't really take you as their child. They have their children, but you're not really their child. So it's something that I've had to work through. I've had to put in a lot of mental work. And I'll also share that in terms of my mental state, it wasn't, although my mother died, it took me, when she died, I had to get on with life. I didn't shed a tear. It was until 10 years after her death that I broke down. Because although she was dead, I'd still go to shops and buy her stuff. I hadn't processed it. So it took me 10 years to process it, to be able, and I had to pay attention to it. If I didn't pay attention to it, it will finish you. So these are the things, like pay attention. And I had to get into a state of pain. Like I cried like crazy. But that pain was there and I had to allow myself to work through it so that I am able to be a better mother for my children, so that I am able to be a better wife, so that I am able to create an environment for my children to thrive, so that what I saw will not repeat itself, because our household was very chaotic, very, very chaotic. So it's taken a lot of work. I won't say to you like, oh, it's taken a lot of work, self-control, investment for me to be able to say, this will not happen to my children. This will not happen to me. And it ends with me. This is where it ends. But it was a very difficult journey. But I always feel like when I speak to women, we can connect at whichever level, because if God has taken me through it, and I'm able to look at my children right now and look at my marriage, I've been with my husband now for 22 years, and that in itself is a miracle of God, that we've been able to do that and do it well.
Wow. Because, something I've noticed is that quite a few people say is that especially kids, I've watched a few programs here and there, and they say, when their parent died, especially if they were in boarding school, some days later they are taken back to school, and nobody says anything to them, and life continues, How are they processing, how are they processing this, and what effects is it having on them? So you're also the founder of Reignite Kenya, which I must say I find admirable that you're making a big impact with communities back in Kenya. Please tell us more about Reignite Kenya and the organization's initiatives.
Okay, so Reignite Kenya, I would say to you, and this is a matter of faith. Now we are going to talk about faith and stepping out, ladies, stepping out. In 2018, I hadn't been back home for 10 years. And I felt very strongly, I just felt it, go back home. To tell you that I had a direction clear, no, I did not.
Okay.
But I kind of just thought, okay, go home. I knew that I wanted to work with women in the personal development space. And funny enough, when I made the decision to go, things started to open up and clarity came. It's just making the decision. So I booked the ticket without a clear agenda.
Oh, wow.
But what I did is, as I did it, I just felt it and I said, okay, let's do this. And then already we had been doing some work on Facebook with women. So I said, ladies, I'm coming, to Kenya. Thank you very much. We are meeting in Java on this date. And we went and the women came. I was shocked. I was like, where are you all from? And they just said, oh, somebody sent me a message on WhatsApp. Somebody sent me this on WhatsApp.
Oh, wow.
And the thing is, when you take a step, God encourages you. That's the encouragement I needed. If they didn't show up, I wouldn't have gone back. So when they showed up, I was like, oh, okay, this is great. So we did a session, which was amazing. We had some time. And then also one of my friends, funny enough, I trained as a radiotherapist treating cancer patients. And that was a career I took because somebody told me to take it. That was it. And when I got into it, I found that it was very challenging in terms of emotionally for me. I wasn't able, when a patient comes in, by the time you finish their treatment for them, they have really deteriorated. And having built that relationship with them for 7 weeks, sometimes 3 months, then they pass away, I wasn't able to cope. So I walked out of it a couple of years back. There was a lady we were treating for pain relief. She was having some radiotherapy for pain relief. And as we placed her on the bed, one of her bone cracked. And I just felt, this is not for me. So I didn't even say goodbye to my colleagues. I just took my bag and I walked out. So they've never seen me again till today. So my husband asked me, what are you going to do with yourself? I said, I am not sure. He said, I will pay rent and take care of everything for a year. But within a year, if you don't think of what you need to do, you then find a job. I was like, okay, that sounds like a good deal. So in that space, I was able to kind of work things out, to go to Kenya, start building my coaching business, which is something that I was like, okay, this is exciting. Let me build the coaching, do some training. So I went to Kenya and I felt, so I did this with the ladies. And while I did that, look at God. I did the radiotherapy. Somebody says to me, oh, there's women who are going through cancer treatment and they need wigs. I put it out on Facebook and I said, guys, we have over 100 women on the waiting list. There's a lady called Dee who was running the workshop. I said, running the makeover. I said, we need, and all of a sudden, people started to give to the wig.
Oh, wow.
I went to Kenya with 55 wigs. Just on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that is in 2018. And then 2018, as I was speaking, I said, let's do a conference. After these ladies showed up, I was like, we can do a conference. So we did a conference in November where we worked on personal development. And I have to say that one of our ladies who came for the program, and a few of them, we've got amazing testimonials. One of them is now partnering with us through the workshop. She came to a vision board workshop. Through the workshop, she now started a support group in Kariobangi, and she's now supporting 180 women. Wow. So just like me stepping out, she has stepped out. Yeah. And now she's supporting 180 women. Yeah. But a lot of my friends, this was also a miracle. I told my friends, guys, I'm going to Kenya for a conference. So I'm like, okay, we're coming. So I had around 12 friends of mine flying from the US. I have friends from Sierra Leone who've never been to Kenya who flew in, from Zimbabwe flew in, from Jamaica flew in. So people just Congo flew in, and we were able to create this amazing event, which was in 2018, our first event. Last year, we had our second event. And through just us doing the wigs, we realized like now we have over 200 women. So what we've done is now we have now managed to register the charity in the UK. Our registration came out in March, and we have 2 employees. Oh, congratulations! 1 employee and 1 volunteer who has just come in, and she's like, she just shared with me that she saw the work we are doing, and she's gone through cancer herself. And she is excited. She's never been to Kenya. She's never been to Africa, but she's excited about this work, and she felt she was directed to me. So she is working in the background. And this is now faith situation. And that's how the wig has been established. And we also do pad drives. Pad drives is now a passion one of the ladies who flew with me called Tandy. She now has taken that upon herself. She's in charge of the pad drives, and we have distributed over 500 pads in Kenya. So that is something also we are doing. We are also work with a lady, Angel Center for Abandoned Children. Wamaitha is in Dagoretti. She's doing an amazing work. She has over 40 children that have been abandoned on the streets that she looks after. So we also visit her, and we are able to kind of connect with her. And when we go to Kenya, we take nappies. So Reignite Kenya is about, although we are going into the communities and reigniting dreams, reigniting passions, those things that you have sat on. We are talking on the message of faith. Step out. Don't wait. Like, there's a lot of us, I'm waiting for money, I'm waiting for this. I have to say that in with Donate a Wig, our last conference, when Millie came to me and said, Grace, we have 48 women coming for the makeover, I almost collapsed, because I was like, okay, we don't have the money to do this. But I just felt, okay, let me share it on Facebook. And I went to my church. And that was something that is so key. And I just did a presentation. I said, guys, I'm going to Kenya. These are some of the work we've done with the women, and we need support. And somebody came to me at the end of the service, and he said to me, Grace, I had 2,000 pounds that God told me to give towards a cause.
Wow.
And he had it. He gave it to me in the envelope at the end of the service. So this is the importance of the vision and stepping out in faith. Ignite Kenya is telling you, you are the resource. Step out. Don't kind of think, I need money. As you step out, God brings the vision helpers. You're not meant to do this alone. He has given you the dream. And as you start walking, whether it's putting a Facebook post, whether it's starting the page on Facebook and starting to talk about it, whether it's sending a message to all your friends, do you have wigs that you can give to me? That step will give birth to what you need to accomplish. So Reignite Kenya, that's what it is, the word, the fire that has been quenched. Let's get it.
That's very inspirational, Grace. I told you before, you really inspire me, and you actually still do, you know. That's very inspirational, because making a step, taking a step. And the way you said, even if it's just starting with a Facebook page, you know, and then you take on the next step. And like you said, you take a step, God sends you the resources, you know. Wow, very.
And he encourages you.
And he encourages you.
Because you will put a post, one person will say something that will open another door. But if you don't take that step, you will not connect with that person. Because it's people that will make it happen. God will work through people. But write the vision, make it clear, so that those who may see it will run with it. If nobody knows what's in your head, nobody can help you.
That's true. Wow. And one of the testimonials from your attendees of Reignite Kenya is a lady called Millie. What impact did Reignite Kenya have on Millie as we come to a close?
Millie came as, it would have been so amazing. I should have asked Millie to join this call. Millie is my guiding angel, as I would call her, because I don't want to get emotional, but there's a lot of things I would have not carried on if it wasn't for Millie. But Millie is a guiding angel for me, because when we did our first wig makeover, and it's so funny, we have pictures from the first makeover in 2018 to now. Millie came for the makeover, and I remember her being very timid, very scared. And she came to me, and I said, after the makeover, I said, ladies, we are having a conference and it's on personal development. You have the resources to be great. I'm giving out tickets. Come and see me at the end of the makeover and we'll give you a ticket. Only Millie showed up for the ticket. I did it very intentionally, because I was saying, I want you to come and get the ticket. Millie came at the end and said, Grace, can I have a ticket?
Oh, wow.
Okay, no worries. I sent her the ticket. On the day, although she was going through cervical cancer treatment, she was the first on the ground. She came in, and I was expecting her to leave midday. After the conference was finished, I was actually walking out of the hall at around 9 o'clock at night. And I saw Millie sitting at the side. We were hosting a conference in Sitam in Karen. And I said, Millie, why are you still here? She said, I was looking at you ladies and I said, I want to be able to stand on that stage and speak one day with confidence. I said, I'll stay till the end. So I said, oh, okay. And then she said, I attended the Vision Board workshop. My issue is I live in Kariobangi. They don't have any support groups in Kariobangi. But now I see that I can maybe start something. So I will go and see how it goes. So I gave her my contact. I said, let's keep in touch. 1 month later, Millie contacts me. I approached the hospital. They've given me a room. We are now 10 women. And I was like, whoa, that's amazing.
Wow.
A few months later, Millie contacts me, Grace, we are now 40 women.
Wow.
And I offer this thing once. So remember, she's the resource.
Yeah.
Before she was saying, I don't have.
Yeah.
So now she's the resource. Within last year, Millie met the president as the face of cervical cancer in Kenya at the moment.
What?
And she was called by the First Lady to come and do a presentation. Millie has been called by Churchill to be on the stage to speak about cancer. She is supporting over 200 women in the Kariobangi area. And then on top of that as well, last year she spoke on the platform of Reignite Kenya. And that was 1 year work.
Wow.
So because initially I was like, is this thing making sense? Is it? Because of Millie, we went back last year. Because of Millie, we are going back this year.
Wow.
And she has made such an impact. And she's now founded an organization, Symbol of Hope Warriors, which is a charitable organization which now has partnered. So she delivers our work in Kenya. We've now partnered, Donator Week has partnered with Symbol of Hope. And whenever we do our makeovers now, Symbol of Hope is the one who, because she's on ground, she knows the women. She brings them to the makeovers and we are able to deliver our services.
Wow.
And this is stepping out. That's all it was. Stepping out.
Well,
and that's what it was. So that is Millie.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the story
very
of
inspirational, very stepping out, wow. You stepping out and then inspiring others and within a very short time, well, God encouraging you, like you said, and being a blessing to this lady, you inspiring her, and wow, it really amazes me, It's very, very, very inspiring.
And now she inspires me. Or like even we'll just say this platform, Catherine, if you didn't set up this platform, would we have this conversation?
No, we wouldn't. And I set this platform. I was saying to someone, I said in 2015, I was like, I need to do something. So many women have been killed in Kenya with domestic violence. So I just started to say no to domestic violence, say no to domestic violence. Then the vision kept growing. But I thank God. And stepping out, we have to step out. And even if you have to, I started with a Facebook page. I still am on a Facebook page, but I feel I'm impacting. So if we have to step out, we need to step out and to trust God that He's going to help us. Because after all, He says in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have for you. So He has these plans, and it is to prosper us, plans for hope and a future and an expected end, And I keep saying to God sometimes, Lord, whoa. And I know one of the things that I was saying when I started this, I used to say, I love interviewing and encouraging and everything. And I would say, I'm not going to stress about it. God will send me whoever needs to be on this platform, you know? I will not stress about it. And I'm like, no, He will send me. Whoever needs to be here will come. Anyway, Grace, it's all about you today. So being an entrepreneur, you also run a Marketplace Africa. Can you tell us what Marketplace Africa is?
Marketplace Africa is that side hustle. The side hustle that's coming together that needs to fund some of the things that I'm doing. I think with Marketplace Africa, I hosted an event. I'm really passionate in terms of coaching. There's the aspect of business as well. And what I found is, okay, you know, women are really interested to know about business. And I thought, okay, let's do an event last year, which we did in April. And I put out a flyer. And, you know, for me in this stage in life, I have to also tell you, there's a lot of testing, there's a lot of trying out things, because I didn't really have that as a child, but I've allowed myself to try. So I put out the event Marketplace Africa, and I thought, okay, let's touch the business aspect of this thing. And I put out Marketplace Africa, and we did our event last year and we sold out. So that was exciting.
Wow.
And I just remember saying, I want it in Mayfair. And my husband was like, why Mayfair? I said, I just want it in Mayfair. Let's not kind of explain this. So we're able to find an amazing venue. We sold out, we had an amazing turnout. And then I thought of passive income. So somewhere where we can have, what I've noticed is even within our community, maybe the websites are not where they need to be. It's very expensive to build websites. It's very difficult sometimes to have a central place to find African Black owned businesses within the UK. So I thought, okay, let's start a website. So we put the website together. It's a place where you can go and now put your, what do you call it? You can go and now register. Born out of the back of the event, you can go and register your business on there, and then be able to now have visibility, you know, within the Black community, so that we can support each other.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when the conference in Kenya, when would it be, so that just for people who may be wondering or listening?
So this year we are scheduled on the 31st of October. If COVID be gracious and allow everything to run according to plan, we will be there on the 31st of October. If not, we will still run an online event. We did the UK edition last week, and it was really amazing. So so if anything, we are still on the 31st, whether in person or online, it's still going on. So 31st of October, we are Reignite Kenya, the Balanced Life Conference.
Okay. So Grace, it's been a pleasure. It's been humbling. It's been inspirational to sit with you. Honestly, you really do inspire me, because some of the things you're talking about, there are some of the things I thought, oh, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. So Grace, if anyone wanted to get in touch with you, how can we get in touch with you?
Okay, my website is www.graceoggudah.com. So that should normally have everything on there in terms of the events we are hosting. I host a free monthly coaching session every third Saturday of the month. So that is something people can jump onto if you'd like to jump on a free coaching 30-minute session, just a taster of what we do. I run a school of coaching. So we also do the Balanced Life School. If you want something more intensive, that's at a cost, but I work with you on 4 sessions, and we are able to build something, a framework that will support you through your goals and your visions. And every Sunday, starting tomorrow, I have tea time, where you just come along and we have tea, grab your cup of tea via Zoom, and we have conversations. You know, whether you are in transition as a woman, or whether, you know, there's always conversations to be had that you can have, whether you're just having, what can I say? If you're going through a transition, or you're starting something, or you're completing something, there's a conversation that can be had that is inspirational. So this is just a series of virtual inspiration conversations. And we focus on women finding success amid challenges and hardships. So how do you turn a negative into a positive? So we'll kick off tomorrow with me sharing some of the patterns I identified, both positive and negative, from past generations, and how I've worked and continue to work through them to help create the woman I am today.
What time are we actually having this tea time tomorrow?
3 to 4, that's BST, or I think it's 5 to 6.
5 to 6 EAT, sorry.
EAT. So it's a little bit late for Kenya, but just grab a cup of tea and let's have a conversation. So you can register for that. I can put the link at the end here. You can register so that you jump onto the Zoom link.
And every third Saturday, you said you have the morning session, the 30-minute one. What time do you normally have that one?
9 to 9:30 BST, and 11 to 11:30 EAT.
Thank you once again, Grace. Thank you to our guests. It's been a pleasure. I really, really appreciate. And thank you to our audience for joining us. Join us for another episode of African Women Empowerment Network, where we believe if we empower one woman, we empower our generation, we empower another woman, we empower a nation. We keep making impact. Let's make impact and empower each other. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you.